Hi everyone, my name is Mazy. I am the co-founder of OpenFin, and this is my other co-founder, Chuck Doerr. We are going to keep this quick. I want to tell you about two things. The first is why to move to web, and the second is why OpenFin. So probably most of you know that you're supposed to have a cloud migration strategy, right? Most CEOs know that, heads of business, product, technology, everyone knows you're supposed to have a cloud migration strategy. What most people don't know is that you're also supposed to have a web migration strategy, right? So cloud is moving the server-side apps out of private data centers into the cloud. The web migration is taking all those legacy desktop applications and moving them to web, right? So the applications built in .NET, Java, Flash, Flex, you name it. Now, today in capital markets, our estimates from surveys from our customers are that about 80% of desktop apps are written in legacy technology, right? So even though many firms have been working really hard to migrate, it's really about 20% of those apps that are web today. Now, why does that matter? Well, those legacy desktop apps are getting more and more expensive to maintain, and they aren't providing the productivity that everybody wants. Now, that's for a number of different reasons, right? Like things that you get from web that you don't get from legacy. The first is the talent. The people coming out of college today are not learning Java and .NET. They're learning JavaScript and web technologies. So it's going to get more and more expensive to hire and maintain people to maintain all that legacy technology. The second is about the time to build. Building with web is roughly 5 times faster. Building UIs with web technology, roughly 5 times faster than building with older technologies. The third is all about the agility, actually, that Edmund was referring to, right? That ability to cycle quickly, fail fast, try something out. Like that's incredibly important, critical to everybody's business. I'm going to just say a few words about why OpenFin. And you saw a lot of this tonight, people talking about the phone experience and how that's really disrupted how we think about apps. Well, for years now, people have been looking at their phones and thinking about like what's going on in their consumer experience, and then walking into work and looking at their desktops and wondering why it's so complicated and so complex. And so what everybody wants is to make that work experience much simpler and much more delightful. Now the thing about the phone experience is its simplicity. It's a small app. It's connected. The apps all talk to one another, and the apps are improving really quickly. How does OpenFin enable that on the desktop? Well, in the simplest terms, we are. You can think of us as a next generation web browser. We call it OpenFin OS. We're literally built on the Google Chrome engine. What we let you do though is we let you break your web app out of the browser. So you get a native desktop app experience. That's the first thing that we do. So the app can sit right on the desktop, it can pop up, it can do anything that .NET or Java app could do. Second thing we do is the interoperability that you've heard a lot about from everybody. That's the apps talking to the other apps. It allows you to streamline workflow and improve productivity. So OpenFin provides that underlying engine. Many of you might have even been using OpenFin and not known it because we're completely invisible on the desktop. That's by design. The point is to allow the apps from all of our customers to really shine and to be the top level brand on the desktop. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Chuck here to tell you about a new initiative that we've been working on. I'll just intro it by saying that over the years we've gone from just providing the base technology to realizing our customers actually need more from us. They want more from us so that they can accelerate the development. And that's really culminated in this new product that we're going to be announcing over the next few days. And I'll hand it over to Chuck. Do you have a mic there?
I'm good here, yeah. Thanks, Mazy. So I'm going to keep it extremely brief because I know we all want to get back to networking, and I certainly would like another beer. But what I wanted to show you just very quickly is the latest iteration of like the kind of bleeding edge of the OpenFin APIs, right? And we sit in a very unique spot when you look at the technology stack, as Mazy was saying. And so we get to interact with our customers when they're pretty early in the process of composing what their desktop is going to look like. And composing is really a very important word for us. So when you look at what I have on the screen here, right? These are 3 different applications. Actually, I guess 4 different applications if you count the app launcher up top. 4 different applications potentially built by different teams. But these applications have a couple really important features of, that have been implemented here. One of them is interoperability, right? So while Mazy was talking, I was trying to distract you by like flipping the ticker here, and you see that the graph over here is changing, and then over here we've got our blotter, our order book. That's changing its context as well, and you can see, I can choose any of the widgets here, and I can drive the context within the other, visualizations, right? And again, these are really full-fledged separate applications, sort of micro applications. And part of what our customers have been telling us around their vision for the future of the desktop, right, is they really are starting to build these persona-driven experiences on the desktop that are assembled from reusable views or reusable components, right? And we've always strived for reuse at the code level from a development perspective. And I think we can all agree that we haven't really always gotten there from a code reuse perspective. But when you start talking about these macro components, right, the kinds of things that we're seeing here on the desktop is very akin to what's going on in the microservices boon on the server side, right? Microservices has really made the server side of our experience reusable, right? And it's not, again, reusable at the code level, right? But it's reusable at the service level. So down on the desktop, that service manifests itself as a view, right? So we have all these views, and they can be context linked together, sort of default interoperability. But now, when you look at what's going on here, right? I'm changing the Microsoft to Apple up here, and it's driving this view down here, the order book, as well as the chart. That actually doesn't make a lot of sense. So these tiles, right? They really are, they really don't belong together with that order book. But maybe this chart belongs in the same window as that order book, right? And then I'm gonna reassemble these guys. I want a couple of these guys together. I want to put that guy over there. Now, to do this, historically took a lot of coding. Like, to be able to reconfigure a desktop like this, reconfigure Windows like this, took a lot of coding. You had to build this stuff into your application. Your developers would have to write code, right? With our new API, the OpenFin Platforms API, which is what you're seeing here, there's 2 big things that it does, right? It helps you take the visual components of your application, these views, and assemble them into composite applications that can execute a workflow, right? So assembling those visual components together is an important part of it, but without the context linking, right, you're really only halfway there. So we maintain the context linking ability here, again, with very little code. Oh, I gotta actually change the stock there. But like, now, what if I want to see the chart and the order book at the same time? Do I want them next to each other? We can put them next to each other. I can do on top of each other. You know what? Actually, maybe I want to build a weird weird composite view. And these things can get really get very complex and almost unusable. But the important thing to keep in mind here is that this framework, this API, really allows you to separate, right, the content creation from how it actually ends up getting stitched together on the desktop, right? Which allows your content producers to focus on producing content, right? And your end users to focus on the experience that they really need. Anyway, we're super excited about this API. As Mazy said earlier, we're announcing it officially in the next coming weeks. And we're very excited to get feedback from you guys. So please, as you reach out and start using the API, reach out to your OpenFin reps and talk to us about how you're using it, what the features are that are important to you, what the features are that are missing, because we expect this thing to evolve over time. Anyway, so with that, I'm going to turn you back over to drinks. Mazy probably has a word or two.
Yeah, just wanted to thank everybody, especially Kim and the whole RBC team, Mark and the Tier 1 team, and Doug, and all of you for coming to the first ever FinJS. We're super excited to have been here. We're definitely going to come back. And thank you, Mitra, for organizing this. And enjoy the rest of the night. We're going to be here for a little bit. Thanks, everyone.